Welcome to the 65th episode of Impact Media Presents Shequeta Smith. I am Kelly Redmond, your host and Executive Director of Impact Media and Entertainment Coalition, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Today, Shequeta Smith returns to talk about her new short film, Dick Control. This project is more provocative than anything we featured here before. I believe there's a powerful message in it and a lesson to be shared. So warning, this is for mature adults and it will be an adult conversation. So with that, I'd like to welcome back Shequeta Smith. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you? How have you been? You were doing big things in 2021, and here you are kicking off the new year on Valentine's Day with your fifth short film.
Yes, I am a busy woman. It's almost like it's by design because it's like I try not to be, but it's just like these things happen.
Absolutely. So tell us, what have you been up to, and tell us about your new project.
Okay, so over the past when was the last time I was here? I was here when I was talking about the final book of my book series, I believe.
Yes.
So we finished up Raven Choi, and then after that, I went into this program. I was selected by J.P. Morgan Chase Digital Undivided to be in a program that they did. They gave me $5,000 to help create Raven Choi into a mobile game. So that happened in December, November.
Yes.
And so then after that, I decided, I was like, well, I knew that there was a short film that I wanted to shoot. I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to shoot it. And so I'm like, well, maybe I can do this and release it on Valentine's Day was the idea. And I went with it, and things started falling in place, and then things fell out of place, and then things fell back into place. And so I spent 7 weeks over Christmas until the end of January working on this film. We shot it in one day. We released it on Valentine's Day was our release date. So it was a lot of stress. It was a lot of hurrying up and getting this done and doing it the right way. So my previous films kind of helped me get to this point to be able to do a film so quickly and to put it out to the world like we did yesterday. So it's out right now.
So tell us, how's it doing?
It's doing good. It's growing organically. I think we have it's getting maybe like 60 or 70 new people that are watching it every hour. So I think we're up to like 1,300 viewers so far. That's on YouTube, and then on Vimeo, there's another set of viewers that have watched it over there, but less people. YouTube is more popular. It's the king. And so, it's growing right now. We haven't had a lot of media on it yet, which is fine. Like it'll come. It's kind of like how it was in my last short film. We started out kind of small, and then I ended up doing a lot of media and stuff, and we got up to over 250,000 hits within like a month and a half or something like that. So this time I'm going for some bigger people. So I'm trying to get some people to tweet about it, some big people in the industry that I know. And so hopefully the numbers are going to jump even higher. It's been getting great reviews. Everybody under the YouTube comments is like, this is great. And that's never happened before. Wow. There's always arguments. There's always, I don't like this part, or I don't like that. So it's kind of scary. Like, okay, everybody likes this. Okay, I thought the men were going to kill me.
You so deserve it. So deserve it. Let's start off by telling everyone how to find it. We're going to do it again at the end. But how can they find your new short film, Dick Control?
So if you go to my website, Shero Comics, and click on films, the movie's there. If you go to YouTube, I have a channel on YouTube that's Raven Choi. It's RAYVEN CHOI. So it's on YouTube. And on Vimeo, my channel is my first and last name, Shequeta Smith, which is on the screen here. So those are the 3 avenues of ways that you can see it. If you can follow me on Shero Comics and social media, the links are all on there as well.
And do me a favor, when we're done, if you could drop the links into the chat. So that they can access it easily as well. That would be good. So, we start on Impact Media Presents with the why. Tell us your why. Why did you make this film? I know you have a powerful reason behind it.
So let me tell you what it's about. So Dick Control is about a jet-setting, promiscuous, larger-than-life rapper. His name is Richard Ty Trigger Simmons. He sleeps with a groupie and he disrespects her the next morning, trying to kick her out. And she happens to be a witch. And so when he disrespects her, she puts a penis curse on him that he can't use his equipment again until he learns how to respect women. So that's what the story is about. It came about because I'm always on the lookout for misogyny, and in hip hop, it's kind of where I started my career in entertainment. I was an intern with Def Jam and Rockefeller, so I saw it like live. I experienced it. So in the movie, there's an assistant, and so that's kind of my window into the whole world.
Wow.
I'm Alicia, and so I would be there for the autograph signings for the artists, and some of their like the guys around them would be trying to proposition me for sex and stuff. So it was just like, this has been a long time coming. And so now it's like with social media, it's more rampant. It's just like all this stuff is happening. These rappers just don't respect women. And so I felt like this needed to be said. And so this short 15 minutes is kind of my response to all the misogyny that's been happening in hip hop.
Wow. And on Valentine's Day, what was your strategy behind that?
Well, I've done a Valentine's Day movie before back in 2013. This movie called The Takeover, and so that one was what I call comedy with commentary. So we shot a film where it's a black girl and a white girl that swap bodies, like a Freaky Friday. They get to see what life is like as dating in LA. It's like in each other's eyes and kind of get a chance to see how things are for each other. So that one was a hit. I didn't realize the body swap genre was so popular. So we got a lot of people that love that movie. I mean, it's still to this day. I think maybe like 2 years ago, the streamer wanted to pay me to use it. So like it's on a streamer, the streaming company. So it's still a pretty popular movie. And so I always wanted to do another one, but I did some other shorts, but they were for other reasons. So I hadn't done another short where it was like for festivals and for the internet. So this was one where I felt like it needs to be out there. I felt like Valentine's Day is the perfect day to make this message go out there to the world. And so it's been
love in the world,
love or lack thereof. It's like that day is either a happy day for people or a sucky day for people. So it's just like I can fit in there and make everybody laugh together with this movie. And so hopefully that's what I did yesterday, and hopefully that's what's going to do in the future.
Well, it definitely made me laugh when I saw
it.
Was there a single incident or a series of experiences that motivated you to tell this story?
I can remember an incident back when I was in college with Def Jam. The artist Memphis Bleak, Jay-Z's artist at the time, we went to an autograph signing for his, and one of his hanger-on guys or whatever like came up to me and asked me really crassly if I would sleep with him or if I was having sex pretty much with the crew or something. And I was just like, what? I'm like, I'm with y'all. I'm not a groupie. I'm not here to get an autograph. But it was just like, it always stuck with me. I've never forgot it. And it's just like, I think it's because it's like such an out of control lifestyle that they automatically start assuming that every girl around is just for them and their pleasure or whatever, no matter how she looks. I know I was like a little nerdy little thing. I'm just like, how do you think I'm a groupie? I'm not even dressed the part. But that always stuck with me. And so that's why in this story, like you kind of see his assistant kind of try not to say something whenever she's being approached by his friend, and just kind of like finally he kind of stands up for her. But that was me. I was Alicia, kind of the girl. I was always the only girl with Def Jam. Like the execs from Def Jam would come down for like autograph signings, and I was always the only female around on the street team. So they protected me a lot of the time, but sometimes it's just like you got people that come into the crew and they just like, they don't know who you are. So they're going to go as far as they can. So the story kind of comes from my truth with that. And also just seeing what's out there. You look at social media every day, like the rappers are disrespecting women left and right. It's just like blatant. And so it's needed to be said. So I wanted to say it in a film in a comical way to where you can laugh about it. It's kind of lighthearted, but there's a real message underneath it. And if you really think about it, like, would you want someone treating your sister this way? Would you want someone treating your mother this way? So if you don't want that, then stop doing that.
Exactly. Are there other key messages that you're sending? And do you have specific like target audiences for some of these messages?
Target audiences, I always try to do this because I come from marketing. Coca-Cola is where I used to work at. It right now, it doesn't work. Like because of Raven Choi, this is like the biggest surprise because it's a Black woman in a comic book that grows up in Korea, and I went overseas with the books or whatever, thinking there's one audience that's for this, and it completely surprises me. Like at Comic Cons here in America, there'd be white men that would come by for me, and they thought it was like Batman. So it's like I don't even try to fit into boxes of who I'm marketing to, because who knows what other demographic is going to rise up and relate to this. So it's like now it's just for everybody. Every woman across the world experiences misogyny. So in my mind, like I haven't started on the overseas impact yet, or like marketing overseas, which I will do in the next couple of weeks. But in China, in Korea, misogyny knows no bounds.
Right.
So I think they're all going to be able to see this and see themselves in a situation that they've all been in, probably that's similar to what one of the women in this story has gone through. So I don't try to put any. I do that for the marketing side, for like the investors or whatever, tell them who I'm going after.
Right.
But when it all comes down to it, it's just whoever relates to it, and that can be anybody.
I was wondering if you had like a specific takeaway or message for the men, and maybe something separate for the women.
Yeah, for the men, I really want them to protect us more. I really want them to stand up. I think I heard someone say a couple of days ago where it's like some men are scared to talk to other men because they don't know how that man's going to react. And I'm just like, well, what do you think we go through? And we're women. So it's like, if you don't stand up to them, then how the hell are we supposed to stand up to them and get any kind of respect, or to stop them from like grabbing us and doing other little things that they do, little microaggressions. So I'm hoping the men take away that they can say something to their friends when they're being disrespectful towards women, and they should. Hopefully women will see this and starts maybe saying something instead of just kind of sitting back and losing their voice in it all. So like the character of Brooklyn, she represents kind of taking it into her own hands. It's like, oh, you disrespect me? Okay. And so he learned that lesson of what happens. Yep. Crystals, y'all keep playing with us. We got magic over here. This is black girl magic.
Crystals.
These crystals, they don't front. Like, keep playing with us. We're gonna bring them out.
Exactly.
It's just like she took that into her own hands, where it's a magical element to the story, of course, but it's still like, what if women could do that to y'all? Like, would y'all treat us better? I think there's going to be a lot of people cheering for her of what she did to kind of make him realize. And that's the thing, he had to think about it. His whole character goes through an arc of starting out one way at the beginning, where he's like happy-go-lucky, to like in the middle, it's like he gets real serious, because it's just this is a problem. Like, I can't work. I'm impotent. Like, what?
Right.
So yeah.
So tell us about the crystal and the healing properties of the crystal.
Okay, so I have crystals, or stones or whatever, that I have for myself. So like I wear sometimes a stone that's supposed to give you like balance, and I do feel like I feel that with some of the stones that I have. So I'm not necessarily a crystal toter, but I do have certain things that are here. But
I've got a few.
I got a few things in here. Yeah. But for this story, like, I wanted her definitely to have something. So this crystal is a healing crystal. This is the bigger version of it that we talked about using in the movie, but it was just, I guess, kind of heavyweight. So it was just like, if she pulls this out, this is a little bit better. Yeah. But this is a healing. Both of these are healing crystals. So I felt like this movie, doing this movie and putting it out to the world, is a part of what I feel like is a little bit of healing. So if I can give the world 15 minutes to laugh at something, and there's no torture, no trauma porn, no black downward spiral movie or whatever, like, this is a moment after 2 years of horrible stuff happening. Let me give this little movie a 15 minutes of laughter and fun and just lightheartedness. So that's kind of what's representative of the healing crystal in the movie, and that being a part of the film. It's just to kind of use this film to kind of heal someone for maybe 15 minutes of a day, your lunch break, and then give you something to look at. But yeah, this is a healing crystal. And after the movie, I decided to keep it. And I mean, you can't get enough healing in the world. So I'm just like, hey, maybe it'll heal somebody. Maybe it heals the actors in the movie. So, what is yours? Yours is healing too, or?
Yeah, it is. It's one for healing and calm. And this one, the purple one, I believe is love.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're working, right? They're working.
So we got to talk about the title. Were you going for shock value? Because you're talking about healing. Most people will and say, "Oh, that's a healing movie. Let me go check it out."
It's if you look at what's happening on social media with the hip hop artists and what they're talking about. It's like you got to meet people where they are. And a lot of people had a problem with this title, and they may still be having that problem. I had some investors that may be interested, but they were like, oh, the title, can you change it? And I'm just like, y'all are men telling me to change the title?
Right.
Like, there's a TV show called P Valley.
Talking about their stuff.
All these hip hop songs, every song, there's a song called Dick. That's a hip hop song that went gold last year. So I'm just like, all this music you listen to, and that's all they talk about in these songs. And now you want to get all bougie on me? Like, really?
Right.
But yeah, it's a play on words because his name is Richard, but also it is exactly what it sounds like. It's like I wanted that to go out because it's provocative. In Hollywood, they want to feel like they're doing something edgy, and so you put that on the outside of the packaging, but when you get inside, there's way more than what you thought was there. It's not fluff. So that was the idea.
But only because I knew you, I knew that there was going to be a message. Otherwise, I would have shot away in the film. Like we talked about earlier, I had to put a warning out there, like, hey, don't be afraid of this. We are going to talk.
Some people go in and thinking that it's something else. This one guy earlier posted a review on one of the Facebook pages saying, well, if you're going to do a sex comedy, where is the sex and the nudity? And I'm just like, this is a comedy. This ain't nobody saying about sex. Sex comedy. What is that? I've never even heard of that. Like,
yes.
Yeah. So everybody has something different, but that's why I'm glad that the people watched and put the comments there so people can read it and see that it's not porn. There's nothing crazy like that. And if they can look at my company and what I stand for, they know that I'm not doing anything like that. Shero Comics is not doing Pornhub stuff. So there's definitely a shock value here, but there's a message there, and I wanted to capture people's attention because online that seems to be what works. TikToks and all these things, like the songs that they use, it's just like, really, that kids are listening to that? So it's just like, let me meet them where they are.
Tell us what outcomes you were hoping to have overall.
Well, the goal is to get a feature film. I wanted to go viral. So those are like the people that I'm talking to now are the types of people that they can tweet about this and it will go viral. So that's the hope, is that they see this and see the message and they want it to go bigger to a bigger group of people. So hopefully, really want to go viral with it. There's already production companies that are looking at it, possibly doing it as a feature film. That's kind of what I wrote it as. It wasn't going to be a short, it was going to be a feature. And so that's the idea, is to take a rapper, take him through this whole movie process of learning how to respect women. So then you get to be at the concerts, you get to see how the groupies are, you get to see all these situations that they're put in the film version of this. So yeah, there's still a lesson in that, but it's still going to be a comedy, funny with music. You have all these elements of what everybody's into, but then there's a message wrapped up in that. So that's eventually what I want to do, is a feature film with this. And the guy who started my film, Curtis Hamilton, was excellent. Like, he really grounded the film. It's hard to do comedy. And he just, like, some of that was directing, but most of that was just him. Some of that was like, okay, I want you to do this and this. But most of it was just like, he came in and he knew that character. He asked me about the character before he even started. Like, who is this guy? So I gave him a rundown. Like, he's a man child. He does this. He got into that character, and the whole day he was on.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for the film, or for just for
the film?
So for the film, it was a new team. I had never worked with anybody that was on this project before. I hadn't shot a short film in 5 years, so a lot of my team has moved on to bigger projects, or maybe they're not even in the business anymore, or not doing films anymore. So I had to kind of start from scratch. That was another thing that was stressful. That usually you kind of go back and you got your Avengers that you had before, but this time I had to build the new Avengers. This was like the next wave. So.
And how did you do that? To all the aspiring people in entertainment, whether in front of the camera or behind the camera, how did they get an opportunity to work on a project like this with you?
I think I have a good picker. Like the lady on the Million Matchmaker says, you have a good picker if you can pick a good guy or a good woman. I think I have a good picker in being able to pick the right people around me for certain things. Mm-hmm. So with this project, I picked, it was like 25, 26, 27 people that had to come on a project, from actors to DP to first AD to gaffers, everybody. It was just like, I talked to every single person personally and got to know, like, my DP. I'm like, okay, why are you doing this? What are your goals? And he's just like, I'm getting married and I want to be able to protect and provide for my future wife. And I'm like, that's the kind of guy I want on my team. He's focused. He's wanting to make it to the next level. So he's ready for this. And he had a really great body of work that he had done for Disney and for Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams' company. And it was just like, he's gonna make my film look great. And it looks great. It looks crisp. And we brought in a drone operator, and that guy was so professional. I mean, that shot that you saw in the movie was probably the second take that he did. He was like, I can do more. He did like 4 of them. So yeah, I talk to each person personally and just kind of try to get to know what their goals are to see if they match up with what our goals are with this film. And then I'll bring them on. But it was like, I did about 33 people that I hired. I may have had to let go of 4 people because they just didn't fit and they just weren't going to give me what I needed. But yeah, everybody came that day. They had an amazing time. It was just like we had known each other forever. At the end, we shot for 16 hours. This is a 1-day shoot. And so we shot for 16 hours. And then some of them still weren't trying to leave. And I'm just like, if y'all don't go home, they're like, Shequeta, I was so inspired. This was so great. This is such a great day. Thanks for bringing me on. And I'm just like, leave. It's 16 hours we've been here. Go home now. Go get some sleep. Exactly. But that just let me know that we put together a really good team. So yeah, it was just me talking to each person. And that's the thing. I come from sales. So that's how you have to get to know your customers and get to know each personality. And so the same thing happens here in the filmmaking side of things, when you get to know people and you learn their personalities and know who to bring on, who's going to help you out, who's going to take care of the weaknesses that you may have and not be able to do. They can take care of it for you.
Where did you find them? How did you promote the opportunity?
On Mandy.com, there's a site called Staff Me Up, and then good old Craigslist. It's amazing who's on Craigslist. Like, I've found some really great people over the years by posting ads on the crew list for Craigslist. So
what was the first one?
Mandy.com.
Can you spell it?
Mandy.
Okay.
Like it's Mandy.
Okay.
I have no idea why it's titled that. But I guess it's some woman's name or whatever that maybe.
You said there was a certain section on there?
Is the what?
You said there was a certain section on Mandy?
Well, Mandy is completely for getting staffing up, and so Staff Me Up is the same way. Craigslist is the
Staff Me Up was separate. Okay,
yeah, that's a separate one. So Staff Me Up is separate. Mandy's its own site for finding crew, and then Craigslist, there's a crew section you go to post jobs.
Okay. No, this was great, Shequeta. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
Always are working on something really neat with a powerful message, and I just congratulate you. I salute you for your work and your stick-to-itiveness to just keep at this. We are rooting for you, cheering for you to get that big feature film and to really begin to make the content that you need and to get the eyeballs that you deserve to get. So we're here for you. We support you. Anything that you need, let us know, and do whatever we can within our resources to do that. So before we go, why don't you share some closing comments and remind everyone how to find the film and to follow you on social media? And I'm sure you'll be back soon.
Yeah, hopefully. I think so. So my website is sherocomics.com. It's Hero with an S on the front. So Shero Comics. You can find all my films there, all my books, my comic books, and just information about things that are happening for me. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter because you guys get exclusives on certain things. Like a lot of them got to watch the movie early because they were on my newsletter. What else? Social media. I'm Shero Comics on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm not on anything else. I think I have a TikTok page, but it's not. I haven't used it. I just have the name on there. So eventually, I may get around to TikToking. But yeah, to find the movie on YouTube, my page is Raven Choi, Rayven. It's my channel. You can watch The Takeover, which is my other anti-Valentine's Day movie, and this one, Dick Control, as well as some of my other short films. And then, yeah, I think that's it.
And I did also want to ask, where did you get the funding for the film? And investors contact you?
Funding. Oh, wow. So there were a couple of investors who were interested in being a part of the business or whatever. And so someone brought them to me and it didn't work out. Like, I think they thought they had a longer time to make a decision. I'm just like, no, the movie's shooting next week. Like, I need an answer. Right. And so I already had a budget of what I was going to spend myself. Mm-hmm. I already knew that I could cover the budget myself. The investors would have just made it a little bit better and would have made it easier on this end to do the marketing side of stuff for it. But they didn't come through, and I'm just like, well, I already have the money allotted. Once I figure out I'm going to do something,
yes,
it's already taken care of. So it's just like I gave myself a certain amount of money I was going to spend, and I'm okay with that. And I feel like I'm going to get it back. So it's whatever. So it was like when they pulled out, it was just like, okay, well, we're going to shoot it with what I got, and that's what we did. And so I think some of them have saw it this past weekend, so they're just like, this doesn't look like, because it was a $10,000 budget. This doesn't look like a $10,000 movie. This looks like
it does not.
more than that. And I'm just like, that's what I do. That's my specialty, is making stuff look like The Takeover. If you go back and watch that, even though it's almost 10 years old, that was like a $4,000 budget. That was a 25-minute movie. So it's just like, that's kind of my specialty. And eventually I may start doing master classes on how to shoot very low budget films and make them look like money, make them look like gold.
That would be phenomenal. And as you're talking, do you work with partners to help them create the content that they want, or do you only do your?
I'm open to that. No one's approached me about it, but like I say, I may do a master class
project
about it. Mm-hmm.
Would definitely love it. And now that I know what can be done with $10,000.
Yeah, that was, and that's another thing. It's like, it's not just like you gotta sell people on, like, a lot of people lowered their rates. Like, my editor worked on The Harder They Fall before this movie. So I called him at the right time when he was in between projects, and he was like, you know what, this sounds like a great project. So some people come work on your project if they believe in it and they think it's great. Yes. And so it's just like selling people on, this is a really good project. Why don't you come work on my movie? That's another part of it too, is getting people to do it lower so you don't have to spend as much, because you don't have what you don't have.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, again, I said this privately. I'm going to say it publicly. I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
Great work. Please let us know, if you have any messages, anything that you want to share about projects that you're working on. You're always welcome here, and we want to help get the word out around anything. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll be in touch.
All right.
In touch privately and in our group chat. That's keeping off every day, all day.
I know.
Got to share it with the crew.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Shequeta. Have a wonderful week. And I look forward to hearing more about the success of the film.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Again, thank you so much for joining our 65th episode of Impact Media Presents. Lots of exciting topics coming up real soon with people that you know and some you don't. Take care. God bless. Have a great week.